Well, a hungry heart and a hungry stomach. It's Michael Patrick Shields, radio stations across the state of Michigan in this time of New Year's diet. Some of them crazy, some of them sensible. We have a doctor on the other end of our line right now, our AT&T line, that you might think actually has something that you'd like to hear, and that is the starch solution. Being Irish, of course, I love potatoes. I'm not really Italian, but I love pasta. And I'm not Chinese, but I love rice. Don't you? Everybody does. Doctor, welcome to the program.
Thank you. What a great introduction. Isn't it amazing that everybody likes these foods? They're called comfort foods, yet the mantra today in our society is don't eat starch. Starch turns to sugar and makes you fat.
Yeah, that was all started kind of with the...
You remember those Irish people. You remember, well, I was in Italy in 1970. I didn't see any fat people. Even today in Asia, you don't see any fat people eating all that rice. So what's wrong here?
Yeah, it doesn't add up, does it?
That's why people stay fat and sick. We have a whole society, and I have to believe the industries are happy about this, particularly the meat and the dairy industry and the junk food industry and the oil industry. They're happy to see people following the wrong road. The medical business doesn't mind either, because you get these people fat, you can give them bariatric surgery, you can give them pills for type 2 diabetes. You know, they're sick all the time, so, you know, doctors thrive, pharmaceutical companies thrive. There just didn't seem to be any financial incentive to tell people that all large, successful populations of people throughout all of human history have lived on diets where they got the bulk of their calories from starch. I mean, it's not just today. You think back, the Mayas and the Aztecs, they are known as the people of the corn. Mm-hmm. And the Incas, you know, a few hundred years of civilization in South America, these people ate potatoes. In fact, still in Peru, they have 400 different species of potatoes. The part of the world you just mentioned, the bread basket of the world, you know, part of the Middle East where we have all our war attention these days. Mm-hmm. The bread basket of the world. People lived on barley and wheat. There was no heart disease, breast cancer, precocious puberty, high blood pressure, obesity. These were warriors. You think about these societies, these were warriors. They fought strong. I'll give you, I think, probably my most exciting example of what starch will do. It's from burial sites 1,800 years ago in Turkey. They had a lot of coliseums there. They had a lot of gladiators. They found this one burial site. They dug it up, a 600-square-foot burial site. First thing they noticed is that all 60 skeletons were male. And then they found the tools of employment of these males, which were shields and tridents and swords. Mm-hmm. So they came to the conclusion these were gladiators. Then they analyzed their bones to determine what they ate. Their diet was a diet of barley. And traditionally, historically, the gladiators are known as the barley men. Now, why did they eat barley? Because it was really bad form to lose in the Colosseum. I mean, you were dead. So because they wanted endurance and strength, they lived on barley and a few beans. Even today, our major athletes who win the races, the long-distance events, since 1968 at the Olympics, all long-distance events have been won by the Ethiopians and the Kenyans who live on diets of corn and grains and root vegetables. All winners live on starch-based diets. Losers live on meat and dairy and chicken. You know, meat, dairy, chicken, cake, etc. These are foods of kings and queens, aristocrats of old. And remember what King Henry VIII and his court looked like. Picture King Henry VIII in his court. You say, well, that looks like the person sitting next to me. Oh, hey, that looks like Americans. We eat a diet of kings and queens. We've abandoned our starch-based diets. You see, people have to eat. This is the key thing. You know, everybody out there that's listening right now says, well, I'm hungry all the time. Well, you can't starve. It doesn't work. Those dieting principles don't work because hunger hurts so bad. So what do? Well, you figure out that you must eat. You have a choice. You can get your calories from fat, which is meat and dairy and vegetable oil, and then you'll be fat and greasy and sick and cancerous and heart disease and strokes and stinky and all kinds of things. Or you can decide to get your calories from traditional foods, like rice, as the Asians did, and corn, as the people in Central America did, and potatoes, as the people in South America did, or the American Indians. They're also people of the corn. You can see this. Go down to the international airport right now, today, and watch people come and get off airplanes from various parts of the world. those who come from parts of the world where they live on chickpeas and rice and beans and potatoes and so on are young. They're strong-looking. They're trim. They're beautiful people. Go to the next gateway, see the next airplane come in, say, from Chicago or Dallas or Miami, and you see a bunch of fat, sick kings and queens get off the plane. That's the problem. That's the solution. It just has no economic incentive to tell people to do the right thing.
Isn't barley what they use to make whiskey and beer?
Oh, yeah. There's lots of uses for those grains, but I've never heard of a beef barley, have you? Or a beef booze.
Yeah, no.
Hey, eating that meat, you can't turn it into anything but rot. We have been so misguided. And see, that's why people don't stand a chance, is because they're so far from the truth that they think they're mentally ill, or their stomachs were designed too big for their body, or they need to take drugs to get thin. It's unbelievable how distorted our thinking has gotten. But every one of your listeners, if they'll just stop for a moment and think about people who live on rice. Are they fat or thin?
Thin.
Just some basic thoughts. And once you figure this out, and of course that's why I wrote the book, The Starch Solution, which, by the way, I got a lot of critique for. People said if you call it starch, nobody's going to read it because starch is a bad word. Starch is something you use to stiffen your laundry, or it's junk food. Yeah. But that's not true. The scientific term for the food we should be eating is starch. So I called it the Starch Solution because just telling people they should eat more plants and less meat and more fiber and so on hasn't quite got it, because they don't get the focus. The focus is, I must eat for breakfast oatmeal and hash brown potatoes, and for lunch I have bean soup, pea soup, lentil soup, healthy pizza, healthy burgers. For dinner I have bean burritos and spaghetti and marinara.
It's a dream come true. The Starch Solution. Dr. McDougall.